Alright, what's up everybody? We're here with sponsored Vanguard player Erick Zurita, who just had a pretty good showing at Jacksonville's Bushy Road World Challenge, the regionals qualifier. So tell us how you did, Erick.
I did all right. Not as well as I expected. I entered with a 2-round bye, and then I went X2 day one, and then I finished X3 in total out of 10 rounds. It happens. Vanguard is Vanguard. Things happen. Starting with the deck build, I start with my starter is Millies because I like to go in really hard. Like I'm very aggressive with the deck, and the starter always gets me out of a pinch when I need it to. As far as my triggers go, I run for the Secret Heal, always clutch for me. I run 3 stands because all your power in Sanctuary Guard Blaster is in the front row, all of it. So one stand is devastating compared to another crit when they're already at 5 or 4 damage, and they're already thinking about the crits and what's gonna happen with the deck. I run the 4 logos, traditional in a blaster deck, and then I run 5 other crits. Not that big a deal. There's my 16 triggers. As far as my grade 1 lineups go, I only run 11 grade 1s because I run 16 grade 2s. I strongly believe in the grade 2 rush game, and therefore I like to rewrite the grade 2. I believe I should stride first. My opponent should be at 3 or more damage, and I can kill them that turn because they have no hand and they can't really do much. I run 3 of the Brave Perfect Guard because it is searchable, because I run Ben on, and in Brave it comes back to my hand. There's no reason not to run the Brave Perfect Guard. I know most people run the Unflippers, but as long as you know how to manage your counterblast and how you're going to play the game, you should be fine. Compared to having accessibility of always being able to search a perfect guard, you're going to need to be defensive sometimes in case you break. That's what it comes down to. And same thing with the Brave stand I play. The stand comes in so clutch in case I break or anything happens. I need to really guard now. I only have the stand trigger. The stand trigger I can rush with, and it goes back to deck and Brave.
Yeah, most people run a 12 or even 16 critical triggers in Vanguard.
And some draws. Like the draws aren't going to help you. What is 1 extra card in hand going to do for you? I have to run 3 Richards. Like I said, I run Benon, the grade 2. So that's always a plus early game. I run 3 Stride Fodders. My 1-ofs, since I'm playing very grade 2 heavy, I play 1 Bargal. I don't really see the need for him since my main grade 3 is Sanctuary Guard Arc. So I just call the crate against 3k, Vanguard against 3k, not a big deal. I'm always accessible. And I play Pack Out because Blue goes into the soul. I will always have some type of soul. The starter goes into soul. This is very clutch. When you go in 1 turn, you're out of counterblast. You call them out with the on-stride skill, and then you go from there. You make a game plan around what you have and what your resources are. That's my grade 1 lineups. Move that along. So now down to the grade 2s. I run 4 Blaster Blades. Very basic in a Sanctuary Blaster deck. I run 4 Lus, basic. I happen to run 4 Benons because Benon is so clutch early game. It gives you a card in hand, it gives you a field presence, and the rush. If you rush well, you usually have the advantage for the rest of the game. I run Twin Swords because I believe in being super aggro. When you can get off, in case they end up critting you to death and you end up striding first, you're at 5 damage, this Twin Swords can call everything. My usual plays, I'll have the full board. I'll have, let's say I have a Twin Sword in the front, a booster, I have a starter or whatever. I have a Flowable and then another grade 1 in the front. I attack with the grade 1, I swing with Twin Swords, bring out the Lu, swing with Lu, bring out the Blaster Blade, I still have the Flowable, I still have the Vanguard attack. This is, I can do whatever I want. Or if I need to play more defensive, the Twin Swords could get me the Benon can get me the Perfect Guard in case I really need that Perfect Guard. It's key. You can be aggro, you can be defensive, regardless, getting you an extra attack. So your guard gives all the powers to the front row. More attacks.
And even running it at 2, it's still searchable because you play this starter.
The starter can get me whichever grade 2 I want. And I run 2 Blaster Blade Spirits. It's more search targets for Lu, and it's a 10k body. I can't tell you how valuable this was in the Sanctuary Guard mirror match I had in round 8 in day 2. It literally saved me. So I was playing Sanctuary Guard Blaster, the mirror match, and it was 10k body saved me. Onto grade 3s, very basic. I prefer to run 4 of the Sanctuary Guard Arc because I believe the 3K power makes such a huge difference. There'll be times where my preferred field setup would be 4 grade 1 rear guards and the loop. So what ends up happening is the loop will either swing for 28 or 31. The card I prefer to call would usually be a Richard because I still blast and draw more pieces to hand. The Richard gains an additional 3 and I already have 4 grade 1s on the field, so that's a plus 15 to Richard by himself. So he's 21. If I happen to hit the stand, that's a 21 by himself while I give the power to Blaster Blade later on. So when he restands, it's more devastating. Much more, much better in my eyes.
Yeah.
I also run 2 of the Vanguard Dragon because, you need some other card, some other grade 3, and I'm not running Alfred. I ran Alfred one time before, ended up riding him and bricked. It was unfortunate. Now onto my strides. 2 to 3s. As far as my strides go, it's very basic. You won't see anything crazy. I technically should have switched some of the G guards around. The Brave G guards would have helped me out a bit since, a lot of times they'll attack my rear guards before I have a chance to use the G guard and have the additional 5K. I run 1 Dismal because D Police has such a presence in the tournament. They like to swing at the rear guards for their free restand to guarantee they'll get hand power. Because a lot of times they'll go, what was the starter's name?
Die-Hawk?
Die-Hawk.
Yeah.
And you can perfect guard that, or you can I can't Dismal that if they go first, so there'd be no reason. But regardless, Dismal, put in work against that. I run 2 Holy Dragon, Laser Dragon, Laser Guard Dragon. Like I said, I get the additional 5K shield if I have a grade 2 on the field, and I run Screw just in case anything happens. My 4 ofs, I run 4 Saint Blow Dragon because of the Link Joker matchup. In case I ever have most of my field, I only need 2 rear guards. I gain power, Vanguard gains a crit. It doesn't require much. I know most people are running Luminous Hope Dragon, but I don't run like any Brave strides, so there'd be no reason for me to use it.
But with the Brave G guard, you could probably fit it in.
Yeah, with the Brave G guard, you can fit it in. My only issue is, actually there is no issue. I'd run that. Yeah, super plus. Vanguard gets much bigger and it still gains a crit. I run 4 Alt Miles because when you don't have a field, this is your best friend. You can always make plays on Alt Mile no matter what you have. You work with what you have in hand, you work with what the stride's going to bring you, and you do what you can.
Pretty much when your opponent doesn't give you a resource.
Yeah, you do it yourself, gains power, and then, the basic 4 Sanctuary Guard stride. And yeah, that's pretty much that. As far as the opponents I faced, I had 2 losses in the first day. The first loss was to a Grand Gallop player. He ended up healing on 6, and then healing on 6 again, the same. So he healed on 6 and 7. It was unfortunate, but that's Vanguard, it happens. Yeah, and then as far as my other loss goes, it was Great Nature, 12 crit. He hit the crit turn 1 and 2. I was at 4 damage. I was unable to rush. I ended up getting nothing but 3s in perfect guard, so I was forced to ride the 3, and he strode first, and from there it went horribly. The rest of my matches were pretty simple. I had one match where I was great stuck against Gear Chronicle. I whiffed the G6 at 0, but for some reason he didn't rush me, and from then on I was like, I think I got this. So I stalled the game out, and then I stalled it out. We went to time and I won. Day 2, round 8, I played against the Sanctuary Guard mirror match. Game 1. Did I win game 1? So we go into 3 games. We ended up into a 3rd game, and I ended up winning it all. Game 3, I'm not gonna lie, I was quite fortunate. He was at 2 damage. He's blocked all my early columns. All I had left was the Vanguard and 1 other column. I couldn't even get off the Lu Blaster Blade Flogo combo because I just didn't have it. I didn't have it. I was trying to set up a field. He kind of killed my field. I kind of bricked early. So what ended up happening is he's at 2 damage. I swung on the Vanguard. I hit a double crit, so he goes to 5. He hit no damage triggers, and then he couldn't guard the last 3 guard. So I was very fortunate game 3. Then around 9, I go against a D-Police player, and it was unfortunate. He hit triggers, but that's Vanguard. I also hit triggers, so it wasn't like it was like luck slacking, I would say. But when he went out to Leon and he didn't break my shield because I ended up perfect guarding. I dismalled the rear guard, so the rear guard has resist. So I intercept with it, and then I guarded up with another 10k. He ends up hitting back down from 5 to 4, drop checks to perfect guard, and the grade 2 that ends up breaking a shield, but it didn't matter because he only had 3 drive checks. So he has 4 cards total in his hand. At that point, I'm like, okay, perfect. He only has 4 cards. I know what they are. Well, I know what 3 of the 4 cards are. Perfect guard, heal trigger, and a grade 2. So I decided to go in, all out. I end up dropping a heal trigger because I'm like, I can kill him this turn. I know what he has in hand. He ends up taking the first column. He heals on damage because I was only like at 3 damage, 3 or 2 damage. Because I perfect guarded him. I did not let him to restand with Laurel. And then what ends up happening is he heals on damage. I'm like, alright, cool. He perfect guards the Vanguard and then just G guards the rear guard. And that was pretty much that. And I was like, damn. Thinking back, I probably should have swung Vanguard first. I ended up hitting a double crit, which would have been on both sides. So that was a mistake, game 1. Game 2, it was so bad. I didn't get any rush, and then he broke everything. This man was a god when it came to breaking shield. I was like, grade 3 to break, nothing but 3s. I got killed. Then Laurel restood, and that was game. So he played it rather well. He knows what his deck does, and he did what he came to do. That was my day. Well, not my day. Then I go into round 10. I played a Loire player, very good Loire player. I don't remember his name. What it came down to was grade 1, I couldn't do a thing. I didn't get any rush off, and once I go against Loire and I can't rush them, drop their hand, or apply pressure, they're going to gain massive advantage very quickly. I lost easily. Game 2, I got the perfect hand. I ended up going first. I go to grade 2. I have a Ben-on column, I have the Vanguard, and I have a Blaster Blade with the Flogo behind it. I swing with the Ben-on column, he takes a damage. I swing with the Vanguard, he guards the Ben-on column. He takes the Vanguard, I hit a crit, I put it all on Blaster Blade. He takes his first damage, doesn't hit a trigger, I swing with Blaster Blade, boosted by Flogo. He takes it because he can't guard. He doesn't hit any triggers, so I restand Blaster Blade, I swing again, he takes 2 more damage, he's at 5 damage. And at that point, he just lost. It was too late to come back from that. And that just happens. I opened really godly, hit the crit, which, and I rushed him in. And so, yeah, that was my experience at regionals.
All right, Eric. It was good seeing what you did there. Pretty good showing there, and hope to see more from you in the future.
Thank you.